Hey, I shoot mostly black and white film. It's not that I would be against color photography, but I feel like black and white gives me more tools and ammunition to express myself. That's a bold statement, but that's how I feel. I find it more interesting. But then every now and then I pick up a roll or two of color film and I shoot it, and I always learn something and enjoy that too. Especially this time of the year, the leaves are turning and the autumn colors. It's a good time for color photography. So I took my Hasselblad, and with 2 bags I can now have the selection on me, putting Portra 400 into one bag and then taking another bag full of Ilford HB5 Plus. And I took my dog Cookie and we went to the woods. It's just close by, actually 200 meters from where we live, and took some pictures. Okay, and then next day it was a bit overcast, but I wanted to take more color pictures. This time I chose Lomography 800 film. It's almost too saturated for my liking, but in the low light conditions it is so creamy and beautiful. It's even more lush than a Portra. It's tungsten optimized for artificial lighting, so that makes the colors even more vivid. So I tried to get myself into the right mood and find situation where that overly colorful signature might work, and I took pictures like this. Now, whenever I take color pictures, it sort of reminds me about those differences that I encounter. color photography versus black and white. So let me talk about a few of my observations. These are just my observations and how I deal with this stuff. So first of all, some pictures are clearly color pictures and they work only as color pictures, and I would not waste any black and white film on those kind of images. Some pictures are such that the color is the most important ingredient of those pictures. You spend time looking at the picture because of its colors. And then if you choose to take a similar kind of picture, maybe in the same location, without color, a black and white picture, then you need to substitute the lack of color with something else. So in this example, the color picture works as such in my liking, but it wouldn't work as a black and white. So I lowered my point, I went close to the water with my camera and then composed some stuff in front of me to make that picture more interesting. So it is a different picture, it talks about different things, but I think that as a black and white image, just the horizon would not work. Often color can be used to pinpoint things in a picture. Different colors emphasize different things, and we can see differences between colors. So in this picture, my dog Cookie, he's visible in the woods because of the color differences, even though they are not that radical. So when I took a portrait of Cookie with black and white picture, I needed to compose it totally differently so that he is more isolated from the background. So whereas in the color picture I can use the color to separate things, in the black and white picture I use the light and the density of light to do the same separation. Now the same goes with materials and with textures. With color, you can use color to emphasize different textures, different materials, different things. Like in this picture, the tower itself and the tree, they are obviously a different thing, and then you can enjoy them both simultaneously because of the color difference. But in the black and white image, I felt that I need to make that distinction more clear. So I chose an angle where these tree branches are obviously different material and they don't compete with the brick wall. Now, I personally almost never have a situation where I need to ask myself, would this work as a color picture better than as a black and white, or the other way around? To me, it is often pretty clear. But here are a few pictures where you might argue. Now, to me, this lake view as a color picture is an okay picture, but with black and white it works so much better. Also, this image with these tree branches compared to the black and white, I so much prefer the black and white. So now, how would I summarize this? These are, as I said, very personal opinions. So with black and white, I have more space for my own composition. You know, light, shadows, shapes, as there is no color to compete with. The flip side, of course, is that without the color, if you don't have your composition interesting, and if you don't have these different lightnings and whatnot, your picture easily becomes boring. Just gray mass. And that's what I see a lot of black and white photographers struggling with, that their pictures are not interesting. They are just gray stuff. And you need to fight that. You need to be more bold in putting things into your picture. That's how I feel, than with color images. And then color can separate things from each other. You can use color to separate the subject from the background and materials from each other and so on and so forth. You don't have that with black and white. The only tool you can have in black and white is the amount of light, the lightning. So I would almost argue that the light is more important in black and white photography than it's in color pictures. The density of light. And I enjoy that. I enjoy making bold compositions, thinking carefully how I bring out something, and then dealing with light. And I'm not master of color, and in most of my pictures I struggle with color and I find it distracting. That's just me. But then, last but not least, I'm not interested in what's in the picture. Almost never. I'm interested in a photograph as an artifact. And what's in that photograph is secondary, as long as its photograph works as an artifact. Let me try to explain. In this picture, there are some trees. The emphasis is on the word trees. Not interesting to me. This is a black and white picture of some trees. Now the emphasis is on the word picture. This is clearly an artificial picture because it is black and white. We intuitively understand that it's a photograph because it's black and white. Much more interesting. And here's an ultimate artifact. It's a photograph of a tree. And when I'm looking at this artifact, this photograph, I'm enjoying it as it is. I'm not that interested in the tree itself, but I'm interested in this photograph. Now a while ago, it's been probably 2 years already, I made a video about why I shoot black and white, and there I introduced an idea of cognitive distance. Where I claim that our brain works so that if we are looking at a color picture, even more if we are looking at the video, and even more if we are looking at virtual reality, our brain automatically makes a connection to the thing. You know, if we see a tiger in a color picture, or in the video, we might be scared of the tiger. But if we see the same tiger on the black and white image or printed on paper, we are hardly scared of it because our brain intuitively makes the cognitive distance and distances itself from what it sees. You follow my thinking? Color picture is so much closer to reality that we make this realistic connection to it, whereas the black and white image is further from the reality and it allows us to create our own artifact, our own reality. I put the link to the video to the description page. I haven't seen it for a while. It may be really bad. But you know, that's what I tried to explain, and I think now more than then that this holds some truth, and there is something in our brains that makes black and white pictures tickle different parts of our brains than the color pictures, and that fascinates me. Hey, sorry for getting so philosophical and metaphysical and, I don't know, brain surgical here. It wasn't my intention. It just reminded me, now shooting a little bit color, that how different they are from the compositional point of view, but also from the point of view how we see them. That kind of fascinates me. Thanks for listening my rants and joining me in the foliage forest. Next time something else.